Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I have a video topic which sounds rather simple, but it's a question I'm being asked so many times. And that's the question of, Kai, what can I actually invest in? Because mostly in this channel I talk about stocks, ETFs, dividends, maybe a bit of cryptocurrency, but there's so many more places where you can invest your money in. And that's why in this video I actually want to go through the different types of investments, kind of list some of the most common ones. Obviously there is so many, can't go through all of them, but just kind of list some of the most common ones. So we kind of zoom out a little bit to kind of see where you can actually invest your money and obviously grow it in the long term. So let's start off with the most common one, which is of course stocks and ETFs. I mean, that's probably the most common when people start investing. Usually they think about buying some shares in a company or maybe a market index, an ETF. And of course, here we also talk about dividend stocks, growth stocks. So, but the category of stocks and ETFs is kind of, one category where you buy part of a company and hope the value goes up in the future. So that's the most common one. And I think something that everybody understands. If you've been watching my channel, most likely you do get the concept of buying stocks and ETFs, which is something, especially ETFs, if you're beginning to invest, I think it's one of the easiest way to get into investing. The next asset class is a rather new one, and that's of course no other than cryptocurrency. Now, again, people might like it or not, but there's no doubt that crypto may have a place in somebody's investment portfolio. Now, I'm not suggesting you should invest into cryptocurrency if you don't like it. That's totally up to you. All of them are. None of this is investment advice. I'm obviously just listing the different types that are available. But yeah, myself, I do own some Bitcoin and a little bit of Ethereum, some others, but all these meme coins, etc., that's not something I'm excited about. But looking to the future, with BlackRock building their first Bitcoin ETF, I do believe really that Bitcoin is here to stay. That's probably the only cryptocurrency I would personally invest in even more in the future, but definitely one big category that you can invest your money in if you want to. A third type of investment, and that is real estate. That's another very common one that everybody can relate to, because one way or the other, you're either renting or you're owning. If you're lucky, you own an apartment or house. And obviously that can be one of the best forms of investments, has been time proven over many, many years to be an amazing investment in many cases. Not always, there's no guarantee in life or anything, but definitely real estate should be something to be considered, especially as you're growing in your career, you're starting to save some money, you have some money set aside that you can invest in your down payment to start building your own property. I think it's an amazing investment. Personally, I also own some real estate and something I want to invest in more in the future, because this is something, worst case, you can always live in there, you can have it, you can feel it, much different to crypto or stocks. If the energy stops coming, it's cold, I can't really do much with my stocks. Versus my real estate, most likely there's always going to be somebody, someplace who wants to rent your place, or worst case, you can live in there for yourself. Of course, you're going to make rental income if you rent it out, plus the capital appreciation of the price that you bought it for versus the price that you're selling it for in the future. And hopefully that's going to be a positive gap. So yeah, definitely something to consider if you wanted to get into it. And I'll definitely be making more videos on the topic of real estate in the near future. Then there's also peer-to-peer lending, where you basically become the bank and loan the money to other people that they can use and then either build a house or use it to buy a car, what have you. It's a bit more risky, similar to cryptocurrency, obviously, but something that has been coming up more and more in recent times. You can even use P2P to buy real estate for some people. There's more and more platforms coming out. Again, that was something I've been doing quite a bit in the past, but in recent times actually took a step back, sold all my P2P lending, because for me it's too risky, and the reward at times, especially now when the interest rates are so high, was not that exciting anymore. It's something, if you're interested, you can read up on it. I made some videos in the past about it, you find it in my playlist. But definitely something to keep in mind and to invest in. It's more for the interest income rather than capital appreciation of your investment. Next up, we have commodities, which are things like precious metals like silver, gold, but also trading things like oil, wheat, other consumable items. So these are classified under commodities. Again, quite a difficult asset class for me, not something I get excited about personally. Even gold, right? You just buy it, you have to pay for storage. If you have a lot of gold, you're not just going to keep it in your house, you need to have a safe place. If you keep it at the bank, you have to pay for that. So honestly, not something I'm terribly excited about, but I do know that a lot of people like to buy gold, for example, as a store of value, even though, to be honest, not quite sure it really is, because when you see the last few years, inflation definitely outpaced the increase in the price of gold. So I'm not a big gold lover, but I do know that a lot of people do like it. And if you do want to diversify investments across different asset classes, because obviously you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, maybe gold could be for you. Not for me, but it might be something for you to consider. Next up, we have collectibles. So these are all things that are basically things that people pay a lot of money as collectors, right? This can be fine art, wines, whiskeys, NBA player cards. So many things that people really spend a lot of money in because it has a collectible value. again, that can really be something where you have a capital appreciation over time, like artworks, right? If you're really into arts and you buy an upcoming artist that later on really becomes world famous, I mean, you can make really good money on this. Again, of course, you need to understand, what you're investing in, where you see the value, etc. That's not something I do myself, but I know a lot of people who are really into this and can really make a high return from these kind of investments. Another class are money market funds and high yield saving accounts. Especially now in a high interest environment that we're in, these ones become really quite interesting, and I'm soon going to drop a whole dedicated video to money market funds, which is also something new to me. I've just started reading up on it, and now there's some great offers where you can really get some high interest on your investments, which is relatively safe actually, so I'm quite excited about it. But even just putting your money in a high yielding saving account, which these days in the high interest environment we're in, makes it expensive to borrow money, but if you save your money, you can actually get 3, 4, up to 5%, guaranteed on your money, kept with the bank, so it's secured as well. So definitely it can be a great investment as well. Now obviously that only pays you interest. You won't get capital appreciation. So the money you put in stays the same. You're just going to get interest. So is the question, is it really an investment? But at the same time, I do believe that still I would consider an investment, because rather than keeping your money at the bank account at 0% and actually falling in value due to inflation, definitely these are much better options to make your money work and generate more money for you. So these are really some of the biggest classes. Of course, there are also many more things like bonds I haven't touched on. There's a whole class on itself. I'm not too familiar with them because I never invested in it, and I only like to talk about things that I do myself. So I don't have too much experience about it, but I know that a lot of people like to invest in it because usually they're very safe. But then we also have trading investments like CFDs, annuities, Forex. But this is more trading. For me, this is less about investing, but trading. This is usually where people go in and out of the markets to make money, some arbitrage trading. So I would classify that more under trading rather than investing. The same, of course, could be done with stocks, with day trading. But in general, these things are considered long-term investments. And one last investment I actually forgot, and that is arguably the most important one with the highest return if you do it right. And that is you. Investing into yourself will most probably have the highest return, because you will have more skills to monetize your skills, to generate more income, to later on be able to invest it. If you have hardly any money to invest, you're going to get hardly any return, right? But if you start building up your income, your savings, etc., you'll be able to invest much more in any of those types of investments, and in the long term can definitely compound your growth, your wealth, and your net worth. Talking about net worth, if you haven't started tracking your net worth every single month, then you are missing out big time, because if you don't measure it, you can't manage it. So here's a gift for you. If you sign up to my email newsletter in the description below, I'm going to gift you my monthly budget and net worth tracker. I hope you enjoyed this short video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, it means the world to me. As always, guys, stay healthy, get wealthy, and I see you in the next one. Ciao.